Imagine this, a packed high school auditorium filled with hundreds of excited students and parents. The lights are bright, the energy is high, and everyone is cheering. But not for talent. They are cheering and laughing loudly as a shy 16-year-old boy stands on stage, crying in complete humiliation. Phones are out, videos are recording, and the laughter is getting louder every second. No one steps forward to stop it. Then, suddenly, a tall, muscular Navy SEAL and his powerful K-9 partner stand up from the back and begin walking toward the stage. What happened next left everyone speechless and changed lives forever. It was the annual Spring Talent Showcase at Ridgewood High School in a quiet town in Texas. This event was always the biggest night of the school year. Students practiced for weeks, parents bought new clothes, and the auditorium was completely packed. Among all the confident performers was a quiet boy named Jake Thompson. Jake was only 16 years old. He was not the most popular kid in school. He loved playing guitar more than anything else in the world. Music helped him feel alive, but standing in front of people made him extremely nervous. For many weeks, he had practiced one special song in his room every single evening after school. His mother always encouraged him, saying, "Jake, you have real talent. Don't hide it. Go show the world your heart." On the night of the show, Jake was backstage, feeling his stomach twist with fear. His hands were sweating so much that he kept wiping them on his jeans. His mom gave him a tight hug and whispered softly, "Just play from your heart, son. I'm so proud of you for even trying." When the announcer called his name, Jake took a deep breath, picked up his guitar, and walked onto the brightly lit stage. The crowd gave him polite applause at first. He sat down on the stool, adjusted the microphone, and began to play. The first few notes sounded beautiful. Jake's fingers moved smoothly across the strings. For a moment, it seemed like everything would be fine. But then the bright lights hit his eyes. He saw hundreds of faces staring at him, and his nerves took over. His fingers slipped. A loud, sour, wrong note echoed through the big speakers. Jake froze. A few people in the front row started giggling. He tried to continue quickly, but another mistake followed. Now the giggles turned into louder laughter. Someone shouted from the middle of the crowd, "Get off the stage, loser!" More voices joined in. The laughter grew mean and cruel. The MC of the night was Tyler, a popular senior who loved being the center of attention. Tyler grabbed the microphone with a big smirk on his face. "Wow, everyone! Jake is really killing it tonight. Killing the song, that is." Tyler started mimicking Jake's shaky hands and nervous face in a funny, exaggerated way. The entire auditorium exploded with loud cheers and roaring laughter. Students pulled out their phones and began recording videos. Within seconds, clips were already being shared on school social media. Jake stood there completely frozen under the hot lights. His face turned bright red. Tears filled his eyes and started rolling down his cheeks. He wanted to run away, but his legs would not move. The humiliation felt like a heavy weight crushing his chest. No one in the audience helped. Some parents whispered to each other, but they stayed silent. They did not want their own kids to become the next target. Jake felt totally alone, like the whole world was laughing at him. His dream night had turned into his worst nightmare. But sitting quietly near the back row was a man who could not stay silent. His name was Chief Petty Officer Marcus Reed, a decorated Navy SEAL who had just returned home after a long and dangerous deployment overseas. Marcus was tall, strong, and carried the calm confidence that comes from facing real battles. Right beside him sat Coda, his loyal Belgian Malinois military working dog. Coda was highly trained, alert, focused, and deeply bonded with Marcus. They had worked together in difficult situations around the world. Marcus had brought Coda to the show to support his nephew, who was also performing later. But what Marcus was watching on stage made his blood boil with anger. He had seen terrible things in war zones, but bullying an innocent boy in front of hundreds of people hurt his heart in a different way. Marcus leaned down and gently whispered to Coda, "Ready to go to work, buddy?" Coda's ears perked up immediately. Marcus stood up tall. The two of them began walking down the long center aisle. The sound of Marcus's heavy boots and Coda's paws echoed through the auditorium. At first, people were still laughing, but as the powerful man and his focused dog got closer, The laughter slowly started dying down. Everyone turned their heads. The room became quieter with every step they took. Marcus and Coda reached the stage steps and climbed up without waiting for permission. Marcus walked straight to Jake and placed a strong but gentle hand on the boy's trembling shoulder. Coda sat right beside Jake, leaned his body against the boy's leg, and looked up at him with calm, protective eyes. The entire auditorium went completely silent. Tyler's smirk disappeared. Jake looked up through his tears, confused, but suddenly feeling a little safer. Marcus took the microphone with natural authority. His deep, steady voice filled every corner of the room. I have faced bullets flying at me in war zones. I have been in situations most of you cannot even imagine. But what I just witnessed here tonight is one of the saddest and most disappointing things I have ever seen. This young man showed real courage by stepping onto this stage. He faced his fear. And what did all of you do? You chose to tear him down and laugh at his mistakes. That is not strength. That is weakness. He paused and looked slowly across the silent crowd. Real strength is protecting those who are vulnerable. Real courage is lifting others up when they are down. Kindness costs nothing, but it can change someone's entire life. Bullying might feel fun for a moment, but it leaves scars that last for years. Many students, and even some parents, lowered their heads in shame. Tyler stood there quietly, his face pale. Then Marcus gave Coda a small signal. The dog stood up, gave Jake a perfect high five with his paw, spun around happily, and then gently placed both front paws on Jake's shoulders, in a comforting hug. The crowd, which had been so cruel only minutes earlier, now clapped and cheered warmly for the dog and the boy. The atmosphere in the room had completely changed, with Marcus and Coda standing proudly beside him like bodyguards. Jake wiped his tears, picked up his guitar again, and began playing. This time his hands were steady. He played the song from deep in his heart, beautifully, confidently, and with real emotion. When the last note faded, the entire audience rose to their feet and gave him a long, genuine, loud standing ovation. Jake smiled through fresh tears. But this time, they were tears of joy and pride. That single night became a turning point for everyone involved. Videos of the moment spread rapidly across the internet. Millions of people watched and shared the story, praising the Navy SEAL and his loyal K-9 for their courage. Tyler later made a public apology in front of the whole school. Jake gained new confidence that stayed with him for the rest of his life. The school started a strong anti-bullying program. Marcus and Coda became local heroes. This true story reminds us of one powerful lesson. When good people decide to stand up and do what is right, darkness loses every single time. One act of kindness can heal what cruelty tried to break. Never be afraid to be the person who walks up when everyone else is just watching and laughing. Because heroes are not only on battlefields. Sometimes they are sitting in the back row with a loyal dog by their side, ready to protect what is right.